Let's take this look from day to night with 5 easy steps, and none of them involve increasing your eye makeup. You've often heard me say that the best way to get your eyes to really have an impact on your face is to have a clean face. It's not mascara, it's not eyeliner that really does the best job of making your eyes pull forward in another person's perspective. It's your face being cleaned up and your golden triangle being highlighted. So let's start at the top with number 1. The top of that golden triangle is your brows. Let's beef up the brows a little bit. I'm using the Science of Pretty Blonde Brow Powder with a little bit of setting spray on the brush so I can get a darker color out of the powder. You can get a much lighter color if you're more fair, if you don't use any setting spray or water, or you can just use alcohol. Okay, do you see the difference here? All right, let's do the other one. And we will have completed step number 1 for our glow up from day to night. Keep that starting point nice and soft by feathering it out toward the nose a little bit if you have to. You don't want a sharp line right there. Number 2, we're gonna add a silicone foundation on top of our Science of Pretty cream foundation and concealers. And the silicone, you hear me say this all the time, that it can settle into fine lines. It sits on top of the skin. But when you put the cream foundation on first, you can use a silicone over the top because the cream foundation kind of works like spackle to fill in all of the little crevices, and then the silicone sits much nicer on top. So if you have a silicone foundation that you like, hang on to it and use it sometimes over your Science of Pretty custom complexion bundle. And you can go back in and highlight over this, but because this is a filter, not really a foundation, it's the Flawless filter, it has very low pigment to it, so it's pretty transparent. It just gives a really nice glow, so I don't feel like I need to go in and increase my highlight or my contour. But I am going to highlight under my eyes in some way because I'm going to put powder under it. This is number 3, and it's really about sculpting the nose more than it is about doing anything to the face. So with one of these finger puffs, you want to line up your straight edge with the bottom wall of the side of your nose, and then press that powder in. Pull it out just a little bit to protect your under eye area, and then pull it down the nasolabial lines. Let's do that to the other side. And this is going to give your nose a much more streamlined appearance. And you see how the applicator is half on the nose, half on the face. That is what we're looking for. So a big mistake to contour all the way down the sides of the nose. We're going to go back to the blonde brow powder for number 4, which is to line your lips. And I love this cool toned sculpting powder. We call it blonde brow powder, but it does a lot of jobs. And lining the lips is one of them. It just gives a really natural looking shadow right underneath the vermilion border that fools people's eyes into thinking that the lips are a little bit more exaggerated. And then we will add gloss on top of that. And that is step number 4. Gonna get but right up against the edge of that and even a little bit on top of it with the gloss. If you put too much, you'll look like you drank too much chocolate milk. And if you use a lip brush with this, it's an even better result. And step number 5 is to blush it up. So I'm going to triple blush. This is Science of Pretty's newest product. It's not quite available yet, but it will be in our TikTok shop very soon. We are calling it the Ugly Duckling because of its very sad little cardboard container. We are very proud of our cheap packaging over here because we are doing makeup for mature women who care more about the ingredients than they do the pretty package. And so we just don't charge for our packaging, which means we have to use really inexpensive packaging. And we're a small family-owned company, so we just don't have the buying power that big brands have to buy fancy packaging. So that's level 1. Now I'm gonna add a little bit of our warm powder dispenser brush to this, and gotta knock it on the side of the counter every now and then, but I'm just gonna go over the top of that with a little bit of this bronzing, and I'll add a little bit more to my forehead as well, and maybe the top of my nose. All right, so that is layer number 2. And then layer number 3, we're gonna go back to the lip gloss to add a little bit of highlight right close to the eye. And then use your finger to bounce that out. That's gonna give you the best result. You wanna make sure that you can't see and look at your profile in the mirror. Don't just look at your mirror image, but look at your profile and move around a little bit to make sure that you can't really tell where it stops and where it starts. That's a dead giveaway that it's not your actual glowing face, but a highlighter that's been applied. So be careful to blend it out all over the place, and you can get really close to the eye. So now we've done no additional eye makeup and we are ready for nighttime.